everybody, welcome back to our channel, Red Bull Coffee and Crime. I know I have had such issues this morning and I apologize. It's all fixed. Actually, I had to pay the internet bill. So, I'm gonna turn on my camera because I'm gonna do some makeup, drink some coffee with you guys, go over some cases that I have written some stuff about, and go over some crime scene stuff. Just, hang out with me, look at some crime scene photos and disturbing, disgusting cases that some of you might have never heard about. Hey, Barbara. Let me turn on my camera on my phone. Hopefully, it will work. Hold on. Okay. I'm kind of upside down. Mm, I was trying to use my light thing, but why is everything so complicated today? I don't understand. How are you this morning, Barbara? Okay. Can you see me? Can you see me? Okay. That's as best as it's gonna get. I don't have my lighting on me, so this will have to do. Um, Good. I am so glad. I'm gonna if you want to come on panel, I'm just talking about cases. I have a lot of stuff to read, so if you want to come on, I will put the link. I just made me some coffee and then I had such a hard time logging on. Like it took me a whole hour just to log on. Don't mind my little cobwebs. I'll probably be clipped for that. People are gonna, oh my gosh, she has cobwebs. Um, okay. Let me wipe my face off. Like, oh my god, she has cobwebs. Hey, Barbara.
Hey, hun.
How are
My
you?
coffee started. I'm doing good.
I am glad. I had such a hard time. This is like the third time I have tried to log on.
Yeah. Well, hun, that's new. Tech. Oh my goodness, that's a new technology you got. You're still learning how to use it.
I know, and then
You know.
my internet bill went out. So, um, yeah, I don't know. It's been a crazy morning.
You're
So,
okay, hun. It takes time to learn. Not everybody's. I'm pretty sure people that are experienced with it now, I'm pretty sure they have days where they have issues.
mm,
Or
definitely,
I'm pretty sure when they first got it, they had problems with it. You know what I mean?
yes.
You ain't the
So,
only one in the world.
you are making some coffee. I have my coffee right here. I have
Oh man.
cases to go over. I'm gonna show some crime scenes too. Just go into a little bit of everything.
Okay. How are you
So
doing this morning, sweetie?
I am good. Hold on. Okay,
That's
I'm
good.
good. Besides, trying to get on here for about an hour and then it kept shutting down.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Right.
People were joining, but they probably got sick of me disconnecting. So I hope they come back. But if they don't, hey, whatever.
It's all
Um,
right.
all right. So I wrote some stuff down, and this is this case. I don't know if a lot of people probably haven't heard of it. They are they were ages 12 and 13.
Oh,
They were the youngest children ever to be tried as adults for first degree murder.
oh my goodness.
Um, they killed their father's girlfriend. Uh,
Ooh.
yes. So while walking to school one day, 13-year-old Catherine Jones confided in her brother, 12-year-old Curtis Jr., that she was being molested by a male relative. The relative
Mm.
is a convicted pedophile who shared a bed with Curtis Jr. during a trip that they had to Florida. I'm trying to make sure I have all this makeup washed off so I can redo it. So and he stunned his older sister when he admitted too that he was being molested by the same man.
Oh my goodness, that is disgusting.
So the children told their father and his girlfriend, but the couple did not believe them. Um, hold on. So they ran away from home and they confided in teachers, yet they were let down time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody believed them at all. The 12-year-old, 13-year-old, I mean, I hate when people do not believe, and about that, you've been through
I
something.
know. I went through the same thing with my adopted mother. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And so they ran away. That was the only way, they were running away and they kept being let down until they believed that the only way to escape their living nightmare was to kill their father, his girlfriend, and their abuser. Um,
Mm.
this was on January 6th, 1999. Hey, Sluggy.
Hey, Sluggy. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, love, for coming. I'm trying. I just got a bunch of new equipment. So it's been really confusing, but I'll get it. Um, hold on. I have a guest. Oh no, I don't know why it said guest. Slug, I thought you were trying to get on. Thank you, my love. I actually went on your. That's crazy. You came by. I went on your channel this morning because I haven't seen videos, and I was like, "Where is Slug?" The last time you did one was 6 days ago, so I was gonna message you, but I hope you're doing okay. So on January 6th, 1999, while Curtis Sir and the male relative were out running errands, Catherine and Curtis Jr. grabbed
Mm-hmm.
their father's 9mm gun um, and shot his girlfriend, 29-year-old. She was a teacher's aide. This teacher's aide, you'll get it. Look at me forever. I still don't know all the things. LOL. I know. I've been very busy behind the scenes, but you're awesome though. And you the one that helped me with the thumbnails and everything. Um, I've been very busy behind the scenes with Madeline Case flying to North Carolina. Did you? Did you video? Did you do a video on it yet? What's going on with it? I put a link if you want to join. I want to know what happened to her so bad, like so bad. I know all of us do. I know Barbara posts about her a lot as well. Um,
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
but if you could update us, like that would be fucking amazing.
Yes, please do.
I don't know what they did with her. I don't know. I mean, I find it very weird. Both parents asked, like, did you hide her? Did you hide her? I'm flying out for court March 3rd. Ah, take me with you. I'm not far from, well, yeah, I am. Um, I don't know. No updates. There needs to be a freaking update. How does she just disappear out of nowhere? But I'm glad that you're doing that, Sluggy. Thank you for everything you do. You're an amazing creator, and thank you for your always supporting me. I'm gonna message you later, but is it on Harper or I have another Facebook? Um, so I need to figure out how to message you because I was trying to do that the other day. But okay, so after um, so Sonia, the stepmom, the girlfriend,
Mhm.
um, they shot her while she was working on a jigsaw puzzle, and it killed her instantly.
Oh my.
Harper, please. I've directed everything to Harper. Okay, love, thank you. I'm gonna do that soon. It's gonna come from a different Facebook, so uh, yeah, you'll know. But just keep a lookout for your little notifications, like if you see a red thing in your mail. Um, so the children then dragged Sonia's body into the bathtub and attempted to clean the trail of blood with bleach before running to a neighbor's home for help, claiming it was all
Mhm.
an accident. You have a good day too, love. I'm so glad you came by. Thank you so much.
And Slug, thank you so much for what you do, hon. You're an amazing YouTube creator.
She really is, and she's such a big help. Um,
Yes.
she's been here since the beginning, and we don't talk all the time, but she's definitely amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
She is.
okay, so they dragged her body to the bathtub, and they
Mhm.
attempted to clean the trail of blood with bleach before running to the neighbor's home for help. And they said it was an accident. Before the police arrived, they ran into the woods and they actually hid, the rest of the night. Authorities they found the siblings early the next morning and arrested them for murder. Catherine and Curtis later stated that they were stunned by their own actions and were unable to carry out the rest of the murders. So they wanted to murder the abuser, they wanted to murder their father, and they only were able to murder the girlfriend.
Mm.
Despite the fact that DFCS acknowledged that there were signs of physical and sexual abuse existed in the Jones household, an investigation was never conducted and the case was closed. So
Mm.
these
Mm.
poor babies, I don't blame. Look, I know we say that your life, your past life doesn't excuse you from any of this, but they were 12 and
They
13
were kids,
and
and
nobody would
I'm
believe
sorry.
them, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
I know. I know exactly how that feels. No one believing you, and you tell the school, and police get involved, and nothing's done.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awful. And
So,
and my mm,
oh, go ahead.
my thing is, I mean, I don't understand how a parent cannot believe their own kids when they're telling them that.
Yeah.
And how in the hell does the police not believe them when they're telling them that? Do something. Look into it.
Yep. And they found the signs. They acknowledged the signs of physical and sexual abuse, but they never they
The
closed
babies.
they closed the case. So
Mm,
okay, so the male relative was never charged in connection with any of the allegations. Catherine and
right.
Curtis Jr. pleaded guilty to second degree murder and they were sentenced to 18 years in prison, a sentence that many call an injustice. At the time, the siblings were the youngest children to be ever to be tried as adults for such a crime. They both have been
Hmm.
released, but will be on probation for the rest of their life. So
Right.
Catherine found love while in prison and married her pen pal. It was a U.S. Navy senior chief, Ramos Fleming. Curtis Jr. became an ordained minister. Um, he did. This is a. I wrote down the interview. So this is Catherine in a 2009 interview. He did everything but penetration. It wasn't rape, but it was touching and fondling and oral sex. He would make me perform oral sex to the point where I would throw up. He, Curtis, didn't believe me at the time, and it felt like he was taking sides, like he chose his relative over his own daughter. I expected
Mm-mm-mm.
him to be at the point where he would want to kill him. Um, she goes on to saying, I gotta close my note thing. Okay, so he goes on to saying, she went on to saying she tried to tell her father of the abuse, but he didn't believe me at the time, and it felt like he was taking sides. I expected, okay, I already read that part, but Catherine told the news and paper where she was giving the interview that her father
Mhm.
intimidated her into lying to officials and denying the abuse had ever occurred.
Mm.
Um, she also says, as they closed the case report, investigators
Mhm.
reportedly warned the children's father that his relatives should not be living with the family because he is a convicted pedophile. So I don't see how this pedophile uh, was able to live with them in the first place. So, in addition to having spent 6 years in prison for robbery, the children's alleged abuser had been convicted of having sex with a 14-year-old girl in 1993. A few days after welfare officers closed their investigation, Catherine was showering when she said the family member entered the bathroom, pulled back the curtains, and began masturbating. She huddled in,
Mm.
yeah, she huddled into the corner and sobbed. There was one person who believed her though, which was Curtis, because he had been abused by the same man. So her brother believed her. Um, Catherine later revealed she and her brother had concocted a desperate plot to kill their abuser and end their torment, angry that their cries for help were going unheeded. The children decided that their father and Spites needed to also be killed for, as the kids perceived it allowing the abuse to occur. After their father briefly left the house on January 6, 1999, and with their alleged abuser due home later that evening, so the father wasn't there and the abuser was going to return home. Um, the children put their plan into action, but after Curtis fired the shots that killed the girlfriend, Catherine said the plan went, um, it just went a completely opposite way. They had an emotional breakdown because reality set in. Um,
Mhm.
this isn't some ideas that it's in our head anymore. This is reality, Catherine said in her interview. And he freaked me out. He had an emotional breakdown. I tried to calm him down, and we ended up leaving the house. After their capture, both police and children's attorneys told the news Curtis and Catherine did not inform them of the abuse the pair had suffered. Um, a chief police said although authorities were aware of the previous welfare investigations that had occurred, they noted that the reports were closed without any definite evidence. Curtis's lawyer, Alan Landman, said that he was shocked when he first laid eyes on his client. He looked like a baby. Um,
Mhm.
so he wrote an email to the news. Landman said Curtis never really communicated with him to any degree throughout his entire representation and definitely did not disclose the abuse, which Lamon said he only learned of in recent years in the media. Every time I read an article, I wondered why neither he nor, to my knowledge, his sister ever disclosed any of this to the attorneys. It's almost like they had a pact of silence. And for
Right.
some reason, they thought that would help them.
Right.
Um, Landman said that he had been aware of the abuse. He would have explored it as an avenue for a possible defense. It is somewhat haunting to me that there was world of horrors that this child was growing up in that was never explored. So Goodyear told the news that even if the children were abused, it was no excuse for killing the girlfriend. There are a lot of people who have been abused and didn't do something like this. At some point, you have to take responsibility for your actions. And I agree with that in some cases, but these kids were so young. They were,
Mhm.
happy birthday, Reloaded. Happy
Happy
birthday to
birthday to
you.
you.
Waiting for his wife to finish her live broadcast to do the first four. Where, what? Your wife has a channel as well? I need to know. Why didn't you tell me that?
I didn't know that.
Me neither. Um, we will be on there. Happy
Yes, most
birthday.
definitely.
How is your birthday so far? We're just going over some crime scenes and I'm going over some cases that a lot of people might not have heard of. I don't know if you listened to this story, but it's horrible. So I believe, they have to take responsibility, but these kids were young. They were young. Nobody would believe them. Nobody. And they thought that the only way they were safe was to take these people out. Um, so hold on, I still have more, but I'm gonna put the link down. Reloaded. You gotta tell us your woman's thing. Oh, Reloaded. We forgot to tell you. Last night, um, we got off live for about 30 minutes. Like
Yeah, we didn't even know it.
when you got off, we weren't even on live. Like that's why Amelia wasn't, responding to us. Like, so we were talking even after you got off for a good 20 more minutes, like thinking we were live. It was horrible.
Yeah, we had a blonde moment.
um, so there are a lot of people who have been abused and didn't do something like this. At some point, you have to take responsibility for your actions. Indeed, in her 2009 interview with Florida Today, Catherine expressed regrets for killing Spike, saying that if the children had thought more, they would have focused their plot solely on their alleged abuser. However, she said she had been desperate and was even relieved to find herself. Hold on, let me see if he's getting on. Oh, yes, he is. Happy birthday.
Birthday to you.
I love you guys.
Love
Love you
you too.
too.
What is your wife's thing?
YouTube channel.
She's doing right now. She doesn't have a YouTube channel. She's doing she's working with her coffee business.
We have a
Oh,
coffee. I need some coffee. I need some
yeah,
coffee.
we love coffee.
Yes.
She's the one. She's the one to
That's,
talk to. I'll give you the information later.
what kind of coffee is it?
Oh, wait a minute here. crystalbethea.itworks.com.
Well, give
That's
us
Crystal with a
right.
K.
Okay.
Message me the information because I won't remember.
Yes, please, please, me too. Well, hold on. You don't have my information to send me.
I'll send
Oh,
it to you, Barbara, and then.
okay. Thank you. Because I
Uh,
love coffee.
so this case, I don't know how much you heard of it. Um, let me just finish this part. So,
Okay.
um, she said However, she had been so desperate and was even relieved to find herself in prison. At one point, I was just so happy to be away. So she wanted to be away from the member that was sexually abusing her and her brother, and nobody believed them. They are the youngest children reloaded. They were 12 and 13 that went to prison, like an adult. They were charged with
Mm.
second degree murder. Um,
Oh boy.
so she said, I know that sounds really messed up, but there was a point where I just wanted to get away from all that. I was by myself and I was finally safe. So the Buzz News contacted Spite's two daughters, which is the girlfriend of their father they killed, Inez and
Mm.
Jessica Coleman, but they did not respond to a request for comment. However, in an interview with Florida Today in January, the pair said their mother showed Curtis and Catherine nothing but love. Of course, her daughters are gonna. It's not love when you don't believe that your stepchildren are being abused by a registered sex offender
Pedophile.
that lives with them.
That's not
Exactly.
love.
They let them sleep. They let him sleep in the same room as the boy. So she said, I'm not saying that they weren't abused. And if they were, I'm sorry they had to go through that. But my mother was not the abuser. So why kill her? Well, she
She
didn't
was staying with someone.
she didn't believe them and she did not report what was going on and she let the pedophile live with them. So, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's not
M-
I don't know.
Me personally, I could not have no pedophile staying with me, especially if I'm. Oh my goodness, no.
Jessica,
Call me Smokey Robinson because I second that emotion.
yeah, I
Mm.
so Jessica, who graduated college in December, told a newspaper that she has forgiven her mother's killers, even though they have never reached out to me or my sister to apologize, even though they act as if they have no remorse, even though they might not care how I feel, I still forgive them. Well,
Mm.
you guys weren't her real siblings, they're real siblings, okay? Um, if I lived with a person, multiple people that did not believe, they went to Teachers Reloaded, they went everywhere. DFCS was involved at one point, and there was signs of the abuse, but they closed the case. So they had no choice. To me, you know, they were young. It might have been I don't know. I don't know. But Goodyear said it was appropriate for the children to be charged as adults because of the nature of their crime. He said they deserved a longer sentence. He said a lot of planning went into it. They fully expected to get away with it. They didn't fully expect to get away with it. They
Well,
uh,
it's about I guess it's about saving their lives from from this monster,
Right.
and
so
they just go on let the monster do monster things. Then we'd be talking about this story a whole lot differently.
yeah.
What makes me mad is the fact that I believe you said CPS was involved at one point in time and they saw abuse and they didn't do nothing. They closed the case. That's, oh my God, that
Hold
pisses me
on.
off. That no,
Nellis,
But
and then
no,
what else pisses me off is the fact that, because I've been through that myself, the fact that a stepmom and no one believed them. That's just awful.
they went to a adult prison at 12 and 13. The sentencing project said the children should have been kept out of the adult system. She said if their past abuse was investigated more thoroughly, it could have been used as a mitigating factor. It doesn't excuse what happened, she said, but it certainly helps to explain it. Yeah, it doesn't excuse
True.
it, but at some
True.
point they have to, you know, have accountability, but also the adults in the situation, the father. Um,
Hmm.
it's if my kid, I've had this experience. I'm not going to go in too much detail. Um, it's my 10-year-old, and uh, I will one day. I just, too many trolls. But right when she came up to me, I knew something was wrong because her anxiety started getting really bad. Um, it was a lot. So I believed her right away, and I called the person, and like I put her in counseling. I did everything I could to protect her, and it was when they were little. It was her and another child that were young. Um, they were both young. I think at the time she was about 5, 7, 8, and he's like almost 9. So they took it as it's confusing. But I called, the CPS. I called the people on them, and anyways, I could never not imagine protecting my child or believing them because that is one thing that yeah. So Tony Hernandez, who briefly represented the children before they were resigned to Funk and Landman, was was also critical of what he said. To treat the juveniles as adults and incarcerate them and throw away the key. Where was the compassion for the children? Hernandez said. Here we are now. The experiment's over. Are the kids any better? Um, so Curtis's sentence was extended by 318 days after
I always will. You know.
he escaped from the juvenile detention facility in 2004 when a hurricane knocked down an outer fence, but he was caught the next day. He now leaves prison as an ordained minister with 2 tattoos, and he hasn't spoken to the press. Um,
I don't know what the name.
so Catherine, in 2013, she got married. She fell in love to a pen pal, and she's out. She hasn't been able to write to her brother in years because of the ruling. The co-defendants from contacting one another, like they're not allowed to.
Mm.
Um, so she says the idea of being 30 and completely dependent on others to teach me how to do basic things isn't appealing. I'll leave prison just as clueless as I was at 13. So that is that story. Another
To say
CPS
that's
failure.
messed up,
Yep.
to say that's messed up is an understatement.
Yeah. I mean, 13 and 14-year old being abused.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, I
Ladies,
can't.
I'm gonna quickly run down the stories I'm gonna post up in a little bit, because I really gotta make this quick. I've got an
Okay.
update I've got an update on the in the trial of Lucy Letby. What you're gonna hear on that story is disturbing. I've got a
Lucy Lep.
Florida
I think I
element.
just found her. Okay, go ahead.
Mhm. I've got a Florida elementary school teacher accused of sexually abusing a 13-year-old girl, having the gall to call her his girlfriend.
Ew.
Yeah,
Hmm.
what you said. I've got the report on the duo that tried to that allegedly tried to destroy the Maryland power grid. I'm gonna report on that, and a recent high school graduate out of California who was described as the life of the party, was allegedly killed by a man she dated.
Oh
The girl
yeah.
was
Oh my
only
goodness. I think you told us about that yesterday, right?
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. I haven't posted it yet, but I'm plan on doing so in the next few minutes.
Okay.
Well, I'll go I'm gonna tell one more story, but I still have lots to go over and do my makeup, and I'll go watch your live on here to you know, yeah.
All of them's going to be four separate reports, and I'm gonna set them up as instant premieres.
Okay.
Okay. I'll definitely be watching too.
We'll put it
Good.
on here and we'll watch it.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that, Lexi. I mean, excuse me, Red Bull.
Yeah, we'll do it. And then we'll watch them with you, and then I'll do the rest of whatever we're doing over here.
All right, let me go ahead and get my thing started. I'll be seeing you in a little bit.
Oh, when is it gonna be?
Like I said, if I got four separate stories, so it's gonna be quick, fast, and in a hurry. I don't know exactly how long it's gonna take me though, because I got to
Oh,
record the audio and then do all that other setup.
all right, well,
Mm.
tell wifey I said hey, and I'm gonna hit her up about some coffee soon, like really soon.
Uh, I think she heard you loud and clear, and that just brought a
Okay.
nice big grin on her face.
And I'll make sure I hit her up at the end of the month when I get paid. Yeah.
Yes.
Bring her a smile across her face. Because I love coffee too.
And
And we will post
she's
her
applauding that
coffee
too.
thing all over our groups, and I'll post it on the. We got you, girl. We got you.
Yeah, we got you.
Awesome. All right.
All right,
Well,
ladies,
have
I'm out.
have an
I'm out for a little bit.
amazing,
Okay.
blessed birthday, and we will see you in a little bit.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, happy
All right.
birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So the next case, um, the Beaver brothers.
Mm.
Um, Hold on. I'm going through all my notes. I have so many cases that I've been just writing random stuff about. Um, all right. For the teenage Beaver brothers, the goal was, oh my God. The goal was they wanted to be somewhat, quote, famous. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to have articles written about them. They wanted to be feared. They wanted to kill 500 people. 500 people. Um, Believing the act would make them like gods. Hold on. Oh shit. I'm gonna mess this up. Hold on. Ugh. Okay. Um. So, unfortunately for the family of Robert, 18, Michael, 16, the brothers kicked off their plan at home. On the night of July 22nd, 2015, they broke out knives that they had been stashing and set up about trying to kill each of the seven other members in their household in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Wow.
Um, they planned to cut their family down like ninjas with swift and silent killing blows, all while awaiting a shipment of ammunition, and that's according to authorities. A bloody, messy reality set in quickly. However, when the boys went after their first victim, 13-year-old Crystal, as one of the Beavers boys would later tell police, it wasn't like it was on TV. You cut them once and they die. So to them, that wasn't good enough. Uh,
Mm.
After Michael lured his sister into a bedroom, He told her, I wanted, hey, come over. I want to show you something on my computer. Um, so she went into his room. Robert grabbed her from behind and slashed her throat. Crystal fought back and he
Oh,
plunged his knife into her abdomen and his arms. I mean, her arms. Uh,
mm,
yeah. So, as one of the Beavers boy, I already read my note in that part. Hold on. The boy's mother, April 44, she heard the commotion and she went upstairs. She was met by Robert, who unleashed a, a frenzy of at least 48 stab wounds. Um, mm, that resulted in more wounds than I've ever seen in any other body. And that was according to an investigator. All this, when all this was happening, Crystal crawled away to protect her younger sibling. So Crystal, who was fighting back, and the little sister,
mm-hmm.
she somehow survived. Thank God this, and she was trying to crawl to go help her sister. Um, or her younger siblings. So the brothers then moved on room by room. Their father, David Bever, with 52, was stabbed 28 times. He suffered blunt force trauma uh, and blunt force injuries all over his body. Tulsa World uh, News reported that Michael later told police that Robert stabbed their dad with the biggest knife he had, according to authorities. Their 7-year-old brother, Christopher, was stabbed 6 times.
Mm,
6 times. When they overtook their younger sister, Victoria,
mm-hmm.
18, they stabbed her 18 times in both sides of the neck, chest, back, and upper arm.
Oh my. Mm,
Daniel, 12, managed to lock himself in a room where he called 911. Michael managed to convince his younger brother to open the door by saying that he was also being attacked by Robert. The brothers came in and stabbed the boy 9 times in the back, shoulder, and chest.
oh
Um,
my. Mm,
mhm.
that's
Robert
just awful.
then returned his attention to Crystal, who was bleeding from her neck, arm, and had abdominal wounds, and tried to finish her off by suffocation. So the sister that was surviving, crawling
Mhm.
to help her siblings. The older brother also planned to cut off his 2-year-old sister Autumn's head, but at that moment, police began banging at the front door. It was the first detective on the scene. His name was Bet Burton. He could
Mm-hmm.
see blood on the sidewalk and the front step. He heard a faint "Help me" coming from inside, and that was Crystal. So he already knew something was going on, and he heard this faint "Help me." Um, the 13-year-old Crystal clung to life, and she told police that her brothers had attacked her family. Autumn remained sleeping upstairs, unharmed. She was sleeping through the whole thing because she is only, what did I say, 2 years old. So the brothers escaped out the back of the home, but they were quickly tracked down by a police canine in a wooded area. In police photos, it shows Robert and Michael Bever are covered in mud and blood. Their clothes are torn, even appear to have bits of flesh on them. They weren't even upset. They weren't
Mm-hmm.
upset. They weren't. They acted like nothing happened. Um, it was like they almost had a sense of cockiness to them. Reports would say one of them had a smirk on their face. Like, hmm. I'll show you guys these pictures too. The Beaver brothers were interrogated separately by authorities, trying desperately to understand why they unleashed such violence on their family. Um, Tulsa based forensic psychiatrist Dr. Jason Bayman evaluated Michael in the weeks that followed the murders, but said that the interviews left me with more questions than answers. You don't always have a diagnosis. You don't always have an answer. He told interviewer told the news station. Crystal survived her injuries and would eventually testify against one of the brothers, who declined to take a plea agreement for the whole disturbing story of the Beaver brothers' planned rampage, including actual footage of Michael's chilling uh, interview. There is a I didn't even write it down. I don't know. There is it was some true crime show that it's on like on Oxygen.
Okay.
But let me look up these I will pull up,
Pictures.
yeah,
Mm.
it's disgusting.
It
Uh
is.
really disgusting.
Uh, you know, those. Oh my goodness, those teenage boys that did that to their family, they were plain evil. Age ain't nothing but a number.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh my God,
Yeah.
make you want to, ooh, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That.
So that is I believe Robert.
Hmm.
Um
Look at that. He was just smiling.
oops. Yeah, just smiling, just
Oh
act-
my goodness.
acting normal. This was nothing to him.
Plain
Um
evil.
let me hold on, let me look for the other ones. Your murder house. Um oh, so okay, the Beaver family it got destroyed in a fire. This is the house.
Mm.
I want to find the hold on, crime scene. And there was a lot of people saying that there was one of the detectives mishandled evidence in the Beaver case. Look at it.
Hmm.
Just like,
Oh,
what was he doing? You know, like, let me see. Hold on. And I wanted to just also, okay, so the Beaver family, they lived at 709 Magnolia Court, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. The family
mm,
consisted of David Beaver, 52, April Beaver, 44, Robert Beaver, 18, Michael Beaver, 15, Daniel, 12, Christopher, 7, Victoria, 5, Crystal, 13, and Autumn, 2. So
oh my.
Crystal
Mm.
and Autumn were the only ones that survived. David Beaver worked in the tech field while April homeschooled the children.
Mhm.
Neighbors described the family to be reclusive, but friends remembered them differently. One of April's friend recalls them driving in a snowstorm to bring her son a TV. since his television had stopped working, and stated April had a big heart. And this, I don't even know if I said the time. It was like before 11:30 p.m. and
Mhm.
it was July 22nd, 2015. She even uh, she recalls putting. See, I missed all this. I didn't put it in the notes, but I was hurrying. She recalled seeing. Crystal said that they were putting body armor on and seeing them with these multiple knives laid out on the bed. Crystal also heard Michael ask his other brother, "Should we do it right now?" And Robert replied, "Yes." And that's when they asked Crystal to come, look at the computer. Let me see what else I missed. Nothing. Here's the end. Let's watch some of the interview. But I don't know if I'll
Okay.
get. I don't want to get a strike. So hold
Well,
on.
just cut it off if it starts showing, gruesome.
Well, no, I don't want to get copyright.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Hold on. Hey, Arctic. You're
Hey,
missing
Arctic.
my makeup and crime scene photos and stories, and you missed some pretty crazy ones so far.
Doing a great job on your makeup.
You have the right
Thank
to
you.
talk to a
I'm
lawyer
being
before
very
you ask any
slow.
questions. And you have the right to have a lawyer.
I'm gonna do the playback speed differently, and I'm gonna have to pause it.
Before you're asking.
Uh-huh.
It's hard to read it sideways. If you want to answer questions now without a lawyer being present, you may do so. You have the right to stop answering questions at any time. So you understand what those are saying? Basically, if you want an attorney, just tell me. If you don't like any of the questions I ask, just tell me to stop. If you get uncomfortable, we'll stop whenever you want. Kind of, you're in control. Does that sound good? Okay. So what I want you to do is I'm going to read this waiver to you right here, and you look at it as I read it to you, because I'll make sure you understand it.
Oh, yeah. So also Robert Beaver pled guilty on all the charges. He was sentenced to serve life without parole for each of the 5 murder counts and received an additional life sentence with assault and battery. Um, it is believed he pled guilty to avoid the death penalty, and he would testify during his brother's trial that he took blame for each murder.
It
Wow.
says, I have read the statement of my rights shown above. I understand what my rights are. I'm willing to answer questions and make a statement. I do not want a lawyer present at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure of any kind has been used against me. So if you agree with that statement that I just read to you, that you're looking at, if you'll sign right there. Yeah, just whatever you can do the best. And then if you will, so was Christopher still alive when you stabbed him? Yes. What was he saying and doing? He was just screaming. Did you say he was in the bathroom?
Yeah, I was next to the toilet with that bathroom.
Who else was in the bathroom?
I think Victoria might have been in that probably.
Victoria?
Yeah, Maya.
Yes.
4-year-old, okay.
Oh, you should have
I
heard
want
the
to talk about
first
that more,
case,
but,
Arctic.
we gotta try to kind of stay like chronologically, if you know what I mean. So let's go back real quick.
The first case we did about the youngest children that ever got tried as adults, but they were being sexually abused. They their father didn't believe them. Their father and her girlfriend had a pedophile,
Pedophile.
convicted
Living with them.
pedophile living with them. The school didn't believe them. Nobody believed them. Like, I have a bunch of stuff written. Like, I just wrote about these cases last night that I was going to go over today. So I've just been reading about the cases. They're like random. But yeah, this one is really close to you. Oh,
We talked about the ammunition being delivered, making plans. Tell me more about making plans and what you guys talked about.
Making plans, plotted every night, and I studied as we were actually going to do this on the second night. And so I started getting ready.
When was that? You second night, were you?
Mhm.
And was it right when midnight, and that's when things started?
Right at midnight,
I don't really want to go over all that. We already showed the pictures. They were grinning. It was disgusting. So that is that case. I have a couple more. I have a couple more. A couple more. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna go grab my coffee real quick though.
Me
Um,
too.
so I will be right back. Arctic, if you want a link, but you gotta listen to my stories. Okay. Oh, don't mind my dirty wall. Where the hell did my coffee go? I'm back. I am back. I am back. I am back. Arctic doesn't
Me
want to.
too.
Okay. Arctic, you don't want to join? Why?
Yeah, come up here. What happened?
I dropped my mic.
Oh,
Arctic, where did you go? Hold on.
is he still in the chat?
No, he left us.
Oh my goodness.
Arctic.
Come back.
He needs to. I am very mad, Arctic. Very, very mad at you.
But those teenage boys that committed that crime, the Beaver case, brothers, that's just, they're plain evil.
They really
Like,
are.
why in the hell would you want to murder your family just to be for fame? To be on a news article. That's just crazy.
Yes, it really is. It's disturbing. It just shows
Oh,
you don't know. Like, you never know.
yeah.
Disgusting.
Yes, it is.
Let me hold on.
So, like the first case you went over, the kids that were being sexually abused and, no one believing them, did they ever get released?
Yeah, they did, and one of them is married. Um, but they're on probation for the rest of their life.
Um,
Oh, I need tape. Oh well. All right. Let me pull up the next one. This one, I think a lot of people have heard about. Why did he leave us? I am about to check him out.
I have no clue. Maybe he was doing something. Yeah, or had to go somewhere, probably.
I don't know.
But if he, hopefully he'll come back.
Arctic, that better be you in there. Okay. So the next one is going to be. Let me pull the picture up. Okay, okay. Hold on. Let me pull up the picture of the case that I am going over. Shit. A lot of people have heard this. Hold on. Let me get a picture of her. And then we're gonna look at some brutal crime scenes, guys. Some brutal crime scenes. I don't know why, but we are.
Okay.
This is who we are going over.
Oh
Alyssa.
my goodness, she looks so familiar.
Yeah, a lot of
I mean,
people
not
have.
like I know her personally. I think I heard this case.
Yeah,
I think.
a lot of people have. Alyssa Bustamante. Bustamante. I don't know. She seemed to be a rebellious, but yet normal teenager. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
she lived in Missouri, um, and she murdered her neighbor, Elizabeth Olton, in cold blood in 2009. So,
Yep. I know this case.
mm-hmm, that bitch is psycho, killed her boyfriend. Okay, hold on. But inside her mind and her internet persona revealed there was a much darker person beneath the surface of a 15-year-old girl who said she was so sweet, everybody loved her, and she was just amazing. Um, go down on my notes. It may have been a surprise to her friends and family, but Alyssa virtual alter ego would foreshadow her most heinous act, the killing of 9-year-old Elizabeth Olton. So between 2002 and 2009, Alyssa was raised by her grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
I need a mirror to.
Because I believe her mother was on drugs, if I'm correct.
Yeah. Um, yeah, she had a history. Okay, so she was raised by her grandparents. Her mother, Michelle, had a history of drug abuse and alcohol abuse, which led to charges and jail time. And her father was serving jail time for assault.
Mm.
Um, I was about to say that. Yeah, no, she's bad. Arctic. I think I know who you're talking about. The oh, my camera, my y'all can't see me anymore. It's about to die. Or it just died. Shit.
Charge your phone, sweetie.
It is on the charger and I charge it all night. Why do my phones do this?
Ah.
But I'll pull it back up. Anyways, um, all right. So, despite the setbacks of her parents, Alyssa became an A and B student in high school. She was very good at school. She was very smart. Um, She was a normal kid by all appearances. Her grandparents provided a stable home where Alyssa's parents could not. friends would say she could write poems, joke around. She regularly attended church at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints, where she participated in several youth activities. Now, in 2007, Alyssa tried to kill herself. After spending 10 days at a psychiatric hospital in St. Martin's, the teen went on antidepressants. Hold on, let me see if my phone's charging because I really want to do my makeup on here. And I'm charging it on the computer, so hold on, you guys. Ugh. If they would have sent me a regular damn charger, like instead of a crazy charger, and then with no block on it, it would be totally different.
Right. Because that looks like a phone charger when you showed us yesterday.
Yeah, but it has two sides, like two of the same sides. So
I saw that.
yeah, it's a phone charger, but what the fuck am I supposed to plug it into? You know?
Right.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna take this off. Hold on. Hold on. I like doing my makeup and talking about crime now.
Yeah. I see a lot of people do that too.
They do, but I literally suck at doing makeup.
No, you don't.
No, I really
You're
do.
going to be looking good.
No, I really do suck. Hold on. I appreciate that. Like, I literally, because I never used to wear it at all.
Let me just say this. You do a better job than I do. Like, yeah, my makeup, when I do my makeup, it's okay, but like, I suck at doing, like, you know how people put on their eyebrows that arch, and I suck at that.
I suck at it all. I suck at it all. It's okay. We're just okay. So after
After this story.
after spending 10 days in a psychiatric hospital,
Mm-hmm.
um, she went on antidepressants, and she was on them, but they weren't helping her because she started cutting herself several times a day. She would show her friends frequently the scars on her wrist.
I think she even posted them on social media too.
Yes, yes. So uh, she would always, her friend said, like, she was obviously on antidepressants. She would always go upstairs and say, "Oh, I need to take my medicine." Online, Alyssa was an entirely different person. So Alyssa Twitter feed would talk about how they hated authority. One post read, "Bad decisions make great stories." She listed her hobbies on YouTube and MySpace as killing people and cutting. She also actually made a YouTube video where she tried to get two of her brothers to try to touch an electric fence.
Oh my goodness.
hmm Then on October 21st, 2009, Alyssa brought her darkest fantasies to light. So,
I,
huh? Go
from
ahead.
what I remember, I was just going to say real quick, from what I remember, yeah, I believe her neighbor was playing with her little sister, and then, she was supposed to be walking her back and told her she had a surprise for her and took her into the woods.
Yep. So, 4 houses down from Alyssa's
Mm-hmm.
house, lived a 9-year-old. Her name was Alyssa Olsen. She would often come over to play with Alyssa and her sibling.
Mm-hmm.
on the night that she was murdered. Hold on, let me get something. Arctic left us again. Arctic, I'm about to trade you in, okay? So on the night that she was murdered, um, the mother, Patricia, she says that her daughter begged to go to Alyssa's house to play, and this was at 5 p.m. That's the last time that she ever saw her daughter alive. Uh, she was supposed to come home every night when the lights would come on. It would be dark, and she was supposed to be home by 6 p.m. So when she didn't come home, her mother just knew that there was something wrong. Um, the day after Elizabeth's disappearance, FBI agents questioned Alyssa, and they also seized her diary. Authorities found a shallow hole behind Alyssa's house that seemed to be, it was like the shape of a grave. Um, the teenager told the FBI that she just liked to dig holes. Later, they would find out that they would find another shallow grave covered with leaves behind her house. And it was in the woods, like she lived in the woods, you know. So
Hmm.
Elizabeth's body was found inside of that little shallow grave. They charged Alyssa with first degree murder. They arrested her. Everyone was in shock. Before all of this, everyone said she was a normal 15-year-old girl, and this really isn't her. This is not the Alyssa that I knew, one of her friends said. So, um, in an entry from one of her diary, it revealed a more horrific person. Um, Alyssa used to try covering up. Uh, she tried to cover up the entry by blotting out the blue ink in her diary, but the police were able to unveil the original writing underneath, um, in which she chronicled the euphoria she felt after killing Elizabeth. She wrote, I just fucking killed someone. I strangled them. I slit their throat and stabbed them. Now they're dead. I don't know how to feel at the moment. It was amazing. As soon as you get over the, oh my God, I can't do this feeling, it's pretty enjoyable. I'm kind of nervous and shaky though, right now. Okay, I gotta go to church now. LOL. In court, Alyssa confessed to killing Elizabeth. She said she, hold on, let me drink some coffee. All right. Um, she said that she strangled Elizabeth before cutting the girl's throat and stabbed her in the chest. Afterwards, that's when she buried a shallow grave and put the victim's body in there, threw some leaves on top, and Alyssa's defense attorney tried to point out her troubled childhood as, you know, a means to,
Excuse.
yeah. Um, and the judge ruled that she would be tried as an adult, thank God. So, a few weeks before her 2012 trial, um, it was a little more than 2 years after the murder, Alyssa accepted a plea deal to the lesser charge of second degree murder to avoid the death penalty. As part of this plea deal, she may get out of jail in 30 years on parole. She got a new attorney in 2014. Alyssa contended that she would not have pleaded guilty in 2012 had she have known of a pending U.S. Supreme Court case that affected how the justice system should handle cases of juveniles and first degree murders. So the judge in the case denied the lawyer's plea for a new sentence. Um, Elizabeth's grieving mother, Patricia, she, my heart breaks for her because, like her, she said the sentence was too light. Um,
Yeah.
she called in court, she would call Alyssa a monster, and she hated
She
everything
is.
about her. Um, she said Alyssa was an evil monster during the sentencing, and she had a speech that was um, Alyssa to try to do a speech, but it was so like impassionate. Like she just, it was disgusting. The judge asked her to actually stop. Um, the mother sued uh, Alyssa for
Hmm.
damages and a wrongful death. In October 2015, and she won $5 million 2 years later. Uh, so there was also another lawsuit that was at the hospital where Alyssa had stayed at the Pathways Behavioral Health Care, and two of its employees were defendants because she felt Alyssa murdered her daughter while under their care, and she believed that the health system should have seen Alyssa's violent tendencies coming. A judge threw out that lawsuit though, but she still owes Patricia $5 million plus interest at 9% per year until the debt is paid. But I always say no matter the outcome of trials, um, the fact is that a little girl lost her life.
And
Um,
she never come back.
yeah, a mother lost her daughter. There's no amount of money that can ever make that right. Um,
Right.
these cases, great. Oh, you're right here. You're with us, Arctic.
Yay.
Her picture says it's all at least. At least y'all do your makeup better than her. Oh my gosh. I'm about to get back on camera. I'm waiting for it to charge a little bit, guys. I see there's two more people in here. I'm doing my makeup and going over some stories that I have, pieces that I've written down, and just trying to speak about. And we're going to go over some crime scene photos. So if that's something you do not like, I am just giving you a trigger warning now. Um,
Okay.
you might not want to see some of these. So yeah, what do you think about Arctic? What is the case you're talking about? Because I think I remember. And then last night when we got off, I pulled up that lady's case that I was been telling you about. Um, and I was gonna do her as well. Hold on. Okay. I didn't write anything about her though, so I'll just have to read something on the internet. Lady that went to jail didn't pay food bill, mentally ill, and they did end up finding the body. Went to jail, weird, and it was in California. So, um, 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 um,
Oh my goodness.
hold on. Oh my God, lady that went to jail didn't pay food bill. Didn't pay food bill. Mentally ill. Went to jail. Disappeared. California. We forgot her. We looked it up last night. Remember when Chris was on the panel?
Yeah, I remember that. Yes.
Matrice Rich.
The one that went missing.
Matrice. Yeah, Matrice Richardson.
So her name was Patrice Richardson.
Matrice. Matrice.
Oh, Latrice. Excuse me. Richardson.
So Anne Merceline thought that her daughter's schizophrenia was under control. Ellie, 34, I guess they called her L. So L, 34, had her own apartment in New York City, a steady job in a law office, and was studying for the law school admission test. She seemed stable, so stable that to clear her mind for the test, she stopped taking her medication. And we talk about that all the time. People stop taking their medication because they think that they are doing okay.
They
Um,
don't need it. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, wait. This is the wrong one. Hold on. I'll just have to read it from here. No, because I don't like this. Hold on. I don't like this one. Arctic, did Arctic say anything? Because I don't see the chat right now.
Come.
Did Arctic write anything yet? I'm
Oh,
looking.
let me see. Hold on. I got to go to the chat. He said, I don't remember her name, but she had a YouTube channel and her husband worked 3 jobs while she sat at home eating bonbons.
I'll have to look that up. All right. So, Matrice Richardson murder. How did she die and who killed her? Okay. Um, so, Matrice Richardson, then 24 years old, she lived in Malibu, California in September 2009. Her body was found approximately a year later in Monte Nido, California. Um, her body was found. I will go over later how her body was found. It's very disturbing. Authorities never provided any official explanation, and
Hmm.
so this is what happened. Matrice Lavon Richardson was born on April 30th, 1985, to Latrice Sutton and Michael Richardson in LA in Los Angeles, California. She grew up in Covina and the suburbs of East LA with her mother and stepfather, and graduated from South Hills High School in West Covina, California. In 2008, Matrice obtained a bachelor's degree in psychology from California State University. She resided with her great grandmother, Mildred, at 118th and Central in South LA, and occasionally worked as a go go dancer in an LGBT strip club in Long Beach on Fridays. Matrice was a lesbian. She had been dating a woman named Tessa Moon for approximately 2 years since 2007. Apart from her frequent dance gigs, she worked as an intern for a forensic psychologist and competed in beauty pageants. On September 17th, 2009, 24-year-old Matrice parked her '98 Civic in the parking lot of a restaurant called Jeffrey's. Um, the restaurant valet later alleged how weirdly Matrice was behaving that evening, muttering about avenging Michael Jackson's death and inquiring about a girl named Vanessa while asking him to be weary of a girl with tattooed arms. The valet reportedly told the hostess to keep an eye on Matrice, though she seemed harmless. According to local news reports, she ordered a steak and an ocean breeze cocktail while sitting alone at a table. However, Matrice budged into a conversation of a table that was next to her. It was a table of seven, um, offering incomprehensible tidbits regarding astrological signs. When a restaurant server checked in with the patrons, they assured them she was manageable, yet bizarre. Matrice kept on blabbering about visiting Hawaii and calling them on arrival. When the diners departed, Matrice headed toward the door, only to be intercepted by the manager regarding her overdue bill of $89. That was an expensive steak and an expensive drink.
Hmm.
Initially, she claimed the group of seven had covered her tab, and she stared blankly when he insisted they had not. She looked through her pockets to show them she had no money, dropping a marijuana blunt. Hence, the manager called Lost Hills Sheriff Station stating, "We have a guest here who is refusing to pay her bill. She sounds really crazy, maybe on drugs." So, um, before this, the grandmother tried to call and say, "I will pay the bill over the phone if you don't call police," but they wouldn't let her.
That's
So,
crazy.
yeah, the police arrived at the scene, um, and they called her great grandmother back. And Mildred, she insisted she had no parents, and I don't. They were just talking to the great grandmother. She was trying to get her out of this, and the police, they went through her cluttered car, did not find a wallet, a cell phone. There, the police came across Matrice's driver's license, besides scraps of weed and a half-finished alcohol bottles. The restaurant employees considered, um, okay, after this, the restaurant employees decided considering like to pay off her bill, but it was like the manager that said no, because they noticed that she was going to get like marijuana charges and all this stuff, and they were like, "Oh my god," they felt bad afterwards, but the manager insisted on pressing the charges. So Matrice was taken to the Lost Hill station in a squad car, and her vehicle was impounded. Latisse called the station and decided to let her daughter stay in jail overnight and bail her out in the morning. Little did she know that would be the last time she would ever hear from the 24-year-old again. When Latisse called the jailer at 5:30 a.m. the following morning, she was informed that her was his daughter, its granddaughter, was no more at the station. The officers would later testify they offered the 24-year-old to stay overnight or get her a ride, but she refused. Since Matrice acted normally at the station and insisted on meeting her friends, the officers released her around 12:15 a.m. Matrice was last seen alive by the former KTLA news anchor Bill Smith in the backyard of his Nido apartment at around 6:30 a.m. on September 18, 2009. 4 months into her disappearance, the LA County Sheriff's Department mounted a massive search for her, with more than 300 trained volunteers in the Malibu Canyon area in January 2010. Matrice's family also conducted private searches for her in June 2010 near the Monte Nido area of Malibu Canyon. Unfortunately, there was um, nothing found. Matrice had been missing for about 11 months before they finally found her semi decomposed naked body. It was discovered by the Rangers of the LA County Sheriff's Department on August 9, 2010. The authorities found the corpse while staking out an alleged marijuana farm in the dark canyon near Calabasas. Matrice's grandparents claimed their daughter had severe bipolar disorder, and citing
Mm.
negligence, separately sued the LA County Sheriff's Department. They were awarded by $450,000 each in 2011. Surprisingly, Matrice's partner, Tessa, maintained she suffered from no mental problems. On the family's request, the California Attorney General's office reviewed 500 pages of evidence and documents, recorded the case in November 2015, and found no grounds for pressing charges against these sheriffs. However, the office reversed its decision in January 2016 and launched a probe. The investigation concluded, and as there was insufficient evidence to pursue criminal charges, the inquiry was dropped. Matrice's death remains a mystery until now. Um, oh, till now. Though authorities claim there was no foul play, so there's no, and there's so much into this. I'm just pulling up this article because I didn't write anything about it this morning. But
Mhm.
um, the officer saying there's no foul play, but she was found with no clothes on, basically. Um, the officer that took her in that night, one of them, like I said, they got off at the same time she was released. They even asked her, well, he asked her if she wanted a ride. Um,
Mm,
it sounds very,
that's red flags to me.
yeah. So this case is really, really sad. But Arctic, I don't know if you've heard that case. Um, hold on. I'm gonna get my phone turned on in a minute because I'm supposed to be doing my makeup while I'm doing this. Okay. Hmm. Arctic, what are you doing today?
Yeah, what are you doing, Arctic? Come on up here.
Mm, hold on, I'm looking at my notes, you guys. Mm,
Oh, he said, yeah, Matrice was a crazy case. It was.
it really was. It really was.
What's really crazy too is um, like the manager wouldn't let the grandmother pay for her drink. I mean, and
Yeah,
then the police officer offered her a ride. And then he was. That's just red flags for me. I wonder if they even did any. I mean, I wonder if they even looked deeper into him and seeing if he had something to do with it.
probably not. You know, they just
I
let
hope
that.
she gets justice.
So I don't know. There's not a lot on Baby Brianna. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Baby Brianna. Very,
No, I haven't.
very, very sad story. Very sad. All right. So, uh, this is a case of Baby Brianna Lopez. She was abused from birth by both of her parents and other family members. We as a nation must make cases like these non existent. And when we say that, you guys, we need everybody's help to bring awareness. These videos
Okay.
need to be shown. Um,
Yes.
babies, they're not meant to know what pain and suffering feels like. They're supposed to be shown love, affection, protection, laughter, hugs, kisses, uh,
I
you know,
agree.
a full tummy. And it's when people say, well, they're in a better place now, we shouldn't have to say that when it comes to children. Their better
I
place
agree.
should have been at home with whoever was going to keep them safe. I mean, you know, and none of this, baby Brianna never felt not even a second of any of this kind of love. Um, there is not one day of her life that she was not abused sexually, physically, battered with multiple blows to her body and head. She was tossed, dropped. This baby, there's only one picture of baby Brianna, and It was of her when she died. There's no other picture. So what a cop did when he saw this picture, he tried to edit as best as he could, um, just because he wanted a her to be able to have one picture. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you those pictures in a minute. I can't do the notes and then this. Okay. Uh, so Brianna Lopez, she was 5 months and 5 days old.
Oh.
Um, she died July 19th, 2002 in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Hold on. And, yeah, she was only 5 months, 5 days old when she was pronounced dead. And that was at the medical center, Memorial Medical Center, at 11:10 a.m. And the reason, the cause of her death, was all of those injuries. It was child abuse.
Oh
Brianna,
my goodness.
yes, Brianna, she had 13 human bite marks all over her body and her head. 13.
Mm.
What they found was that there was extensive injuries to her head. There were fatal injuries to her brain. Her brain was bleeding, and as well, I think the nerves of her eyes uh, were bleeding. Her skull was fractured in two places, and there were two rib fractures, two more on the thigh bones of each of her legs, and fracture to her left arm. She was also raped by the ones that were supposed to protect her, take care of her, and never ever let somebody do this to their child, which was her father and uncle.
Mm.
So Brianna was a victim of child abuse. Um, this is considered by many and me as perhaps one of the worst cases in New Mexico, at least, because we know there's horrible stories everywhere, but this one's from New Mexico. Her parents were Stephanie Lopez, Andy Walters, and her uncle was Stephen Lopez, which was the mom's brother. Um, the abuse, it started almost immediately when they brought her home from the hospital. Instead of hugs and kisses, Brianna received slaps and pinches. She, she was tormented on a daily basis, both
Mm.
verbally and physically. She was slapped, kicked, punched, pinched, thrown, raped, you name it. This poor baby endured it. She went through it all. Um, Brianna would cry at this pain, obviously, that was inflicted on her, and they would laugh. They would also stuff her mouth with clothing to so people couldn't hear her screaming, crying. Her own mother would also bite and pinch her when she got frustrated by the crying. So instead of
Mm.
getting her away from these fools, she took part in all of this and getting frustrated by the crying because you pieces of shit are causing this.
Disgusting.
So you stuff her
Mm.
mouth to muffle her screams. Um, for the most part, in her torture, it was the father and uncle, but the mom did take part in some stuff, and she also sat back and ignored everything that was going on. Uh, so, um, medical examiners would later report that the marks, as being both old and new, which proved that this was a prolonged abuse. Oh my god. She, as long as well as her vagina and anus, there was those were the signs, even in her anus, that she was being sexually abused.
Oh,
They said that she was abused every single day of her short life. Um, Baby Brianna was what we would all consider a strong baby because she managed to survive 153 days despite coming into this cruel world weighing only several pounds. It was July 18th, 2002. Her parents were both drunk. Um, this is what Stephanie claimed, that she only had a few beers and she went to bed in the same room um, that the others were in. During this time, Andy and Steven decided to play their own sick and demented game. They would toss Brianna up in the air and let her hit her ceiling and hit her head on the ceiling and then watch her fall on the ground.
oh,
Uh, they told authorities that Brianna was screaming and wailing when this was happening. Um, and her mom said she didn't hear any of this. Um, so the same morning, because they were up all night drinking, torturing her, Stephanie, she saw that Brianna needed a diaper change, and Andy volunteered to do it. During this diaper change, he wrapped a baby wipe around his finger and inserted it into Brianna's anus. He also sodomized her with different kind of objects. When Stephanie noticed her own daughter was near death, she ignored it. She waited several hours before calling an ambulance. So instead of calling an ambulance right away,
she let her baby die. She didn't care about her.
mm-mm,
She's a piece of shit.
there were relatives, including the grandparents, that knew what was going on, and they also ignored it because they would stay with her, and um, the they knew their granddaughter was being raped by both the father and uncle. They knew she had pinch marks. They knew from head to toe. They knew she was being tormented and had marks, cuts, lacerations. But they also turned a blind eye and let it continue for 5, going on 6 months.
Mm-mm-mm.
They all failed her. That whole family failed her.
They're as bad as the ones abusing her. They didn't do nothing. They didn't say anything. They should have.
Baby Brianna's body couldn't handle the abuse any longer. And the most incredible part of this story is that baby Brianna's relatives, including her grandparents, were sentenced to 30 days in jail for failing to report the abuse. So, 30 days.
Right? That's not shit.
30 days. And you know what? The mom is already out. The
Oh
mom
my freaking
was
goodness.
she was
No.
she was convicted of neglecting a child uh, abuse after she failed to do anything to help, and um, the department said she could be released as early as September 28th, 2016, less than
No.
15 for her daughter's torture and death. She is free. She is
She
free.
don't deserve to be free. No, that's crazy.
Um, yeah, she's free. She is
Mm-mm.
A woman. Hold on. Let me get out of my notes and let me, because I didn't even write down when she got out. Hold on. Oh my god. I mean, can you just? She's a baby. She never got to eat real food. Never got to eat candy.
Right.
Never got to play like a child. Never got to go to school. Never. Let
Never
me
got
let me
to
play
grow
this.
up.
Let me play this really quick. Hold on. Uh,
And she'll only serve half of her sentence. A nationwide push to keep baby Brianna's mother behind bars longer. Good evening. That infamous New Mexico mom will get out almost 13 years early because of a weak law.
And now thousands and thousands of people around the U.S. and in other countries are ticked off about it, and the governor doesn't like it either. Here's News 13's Alex Tomlin.
Big Jessica, baby Brianna, just her name evokes strong emotions. Now it's her mother's name, Stephanie Lopez, that's causing a big stir on the internet around the country.
Well, beautiful little girl. Anyone would have taken her.
Baby Brianna would have been 10 this year, but instead she will forever be remembered like this, laying on a cold metal table, covered in bruises and bite marks, raped and murdered.
It's really sad.
Governor Susana Martinez prosecuted Brianna's mother, father, and uncle when she was the DA in Las Cruces. All three were convicted, but Stephanie Lopez was only found guilty of child abuse.
That's unfortunate. There wasn't a greater penalty that we could have charged her with.
In 2003, Lopez was sentenced to 27 years, but if she behaves, she will only serve half of that and will be released in 4 years. Now, almost 30,000 people from all over the
she is already released.
I saw those bite marks on that baby. Poor baby. Poor. Oh my goodness.
It's disgusting.
It is. And
Disgusting.
she gotten out. She deserves to spend the rest of her life in prison. Actually, she deserves death row. Be put to death. She did to that poor baby.
This is what she looked like. The cop tried to do his. Hold on, share this instead. This is what she looked like.
Oh my goodness.
This is what the cop did to try to make her not that to
Not look too bad.
yeah
Oh my goodness.
let me hold on. Let me Stephanie. Let me see where the mom is now. I didn't even. Emily talks about Brianna, baby Brianna's mom behind life bars. Who is Stephanie?
And the uncle, the
Brother,
dad.
mother, baby Brianna's mother released from prison. So yeah, Stephanie Renee Lopez, who served 13 years in prison for the 2002 death of her 5.5-month-old daughter, Brianna Lopez, the Dona Ana County infant who died as a result of horrific physical and sexual abuse by family members, and later became a symbol in efforts to toughen child abuse laws. Lopez, now 33, was sentenced to 27 years in prison in 2003 after she found guilty of negligent child abuse. Brianna's death, I'm trying to see how much. So she got good time credit, and that was for 493 days. She began serving 2 years of parole. Trying to see where she is now. I think she changed her name. Yeah, she changed her name. There's not much about like on this case, but I know. I will never understand. I don't.
Me neither.
I really.
And the mother and the uncle and the father, they all three should have been put to death. What they did to that baby,
Yeah.
because no child deserves to be sexually abused or physically abused. If you don't want kids, give them to a loving family or don't have none.
Exactly. Hold on.
Because,
I gotta get some more coffee. Hold on.
okay, let me use the ladies' room. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm back.
Hold on. I gotta call Granite real quick. Oh,
Oh, you're fine.
I forgot.
You're okay, hon.
No, why are you updating my software right now?
Ooh,
My phone, it says updating software.
oh my goodness.
80%. Hold on.
Go fix me some more coffee.
You must be off today.
Who?
You?
Yeah. Plus, like every month I get social security too. So I work at Walmart like twice a week, so I don't affect my social security
Oh, what do you get that?
benefit.
What do you get that for?
Well, for my mom's passing, and plus I have a little learning problem, disability, but it's
Oh,
not too bad. Like I'm not stupid or anything.
I'm going live. What do you mean? The kids. You got to go get some school. For what?
Well, I didn't think that you probably think I'm stupid or anything, but I'm
No,
not.
Barbara, hold on. My kid's school is calling. I gotta go. I gotta call them. I'm gonna come back on. You gotta go get them.
Okay, hon.
All right.